Alright, so now I'm going to show you how I made these beautiful green goblin pumpkin bomb cupcakes. Now this is a part 3 video, so I've already showed you how I made the Spiderman web cupcakes and the electro mask cupcakes. Now for the cupcake, I use a strawberry streusel cupcake, but you can use whatever cupcake you want. Strawberry, chocolate, pink, purple, if that's a flavor, it doesn't matter. The only thing that I did and I would have you do is make sure that you have a cupcake liner that matches the color scheme of the green goblin. So I used purple. So first off, we're going to start off with molding our pumpkins. So I already have my fondant colored in orange, and I'm basically going to mold our fondant into small little balls. Then once I have them molded into a ball shape, I'm just going to put them off to the side to dry. And then what I do is I take a toothpick and I poke a hole right on the top, because this is where we're going to put the stem. Now we're going to go ahead and color our frosting. So I use Duff's Electric Purple. So I put a couple drops in there and then I stir until I get the purple that I want it to be. Next I get my Wilton bag and I cut the tip. Then I fold the top of my bag inside out and then I start packing in the frosting. With decorating my cupcake, all I did was put a simple swirl on the top. Next, with my fondant, I use Duff's Electric Green to color my fondant. Then I roll my fondant out. Then I got my circle cookie cutters and cut circles out. Once you're done cutting your circles out, I just put them on the side to dry for a little bit. Now for the pumpkin balls that we had molded earlier, I take those pumpkin balls and I use one of my Wilton tools to make creases to start making it look more like a pumpkin. Now, if you don't have the Wilton gum paste decorating tool, you can just use a knife or you can use a toothpick. Now that I got my lines on my pumpkins, then I go back with my Wilton tool and I make those creases a little bit deeper. This is going to really make the pumpkin pop and look more like a pumpkin. If the holes on the top of your pumpkin have closed a little bit while molding it, then go ahead and just reopen those holes. Now with adding the details, I roll out some green fondant into like a little stem. Then I go ahead and I put the stem inside the hole that we made earlier. Then I roll out some of my yellow fondant that I used for my electro cupcakes, and I kind of place it on top of that stem. And then I want to create a smoke effect for the pumpkin bomb. So what I do is, once I have one of the sections of smoke attached to the base of the pumpkin, I go ahead and I basically twist and pinch that yellow fondant. Then I just keep adding more and more fondant. I start pinching and twisting until I get it to look the way I want it to look. Now for the face of the pumpkin, what I do is I roll out some brown fondant and I use one of my square cookie cutters to kind of cut out a little rectangle, and then I'm going to use the edge of my cookie cutter to cut out the mouth. Now save those tiny little scraps too, because I use those scraps to put the eyes and the nose on the pumpkin. Now once I have my mouth cut out, I basically just go on and I stick it to my pumpkin. If it's not sticking so easily, just apply a little bit of water. So again, I use the scraps to start adding the eyes and the nose. Once I have the eyes and the nose, I basically use my Wilton tool, or you can use a toothpick. And this basically just helps me align the eyes a little bit straighter. Then I put some icing on the bottom of my pumpkin and put it on top of my fondant base just to make sure that it doesn't slide off. And there you have it, Green Goblin Pumpkin Bomb Cupcakes. And if you like the video, make sure that you watch how I made these really cool 3D rhino cupcakes.